There's been good parts, but then there's been a lot of hard parts.
See, that's my daughter. I love that this video, it's not all just rosy and positive. Over the weekend, my kids made this video for me for Father's Day, and I asked them to make it because I'm trying to organize the videos we make, but I didn't know at all what they were gonna say. I just told them to share a story. So when it came time to actually sit down and watch this thing, when it was gonna be published, it was like a surprise to me. And we make a lot of these types of videos, so I didn't think it was gonna like have that much of an impact on me. But it actually really did, so I wanted to do a reaction video to show you guys what stood out to me about this Father's Day video that they made. Okay, the first part is the intro. This intro was really fun to see. It turned out really good. This was all Seven's idea, except for my idea was to sit out in the chair in the grass.
My dad is one of the smartest people that I know, and he's really good at listening to people.
That's like really crazy for me to hear because, and a lot of this video is this way, my kids aren't really bullshitters. Like, I don't think they're hamming this up, but it was weird to hear some of these things because I don't really consider myself a good listener, and it's really weird to be called smart by my kids. Like, I think I see myself as intelligent, but I don't normally think that my kids see me that way. So it felt good to hear that.
But the story I want to tell is how I was able to get that nursing degree and have 2 kids while getting this nursing degree was largely because of Ben.
Man, this was also really surprising to me. I remember this story, like we made the decision together for Cammie to get this nursing degree and for me to work while she did it. But it didn't seem like that big of a deal to me, especially since she hasn't really used the degree. It kind of felt a little bit like a waste. So it was cool for me to hear that of all the stories she could share, that made an impression on her, me doing that. What I brought for you.
I love it when he thinks out loud to me, or he speaks what he thinks in the moment, because I feel like I always get smarter when he does that.
Man, I would not know that Deb likes it when I talk out loud. I kind of want to know what she's talking about, because she's never told that to me in real life, and sometimes I feel like I'm actually just nagging or getting on their nerves, like they wish I talked less.
He'll like really gently like suggest something else whenever I tell him like an idea.
Really? Man, I guess I like really have to believe the kids because I don't feel very gentle. I don't know who to trust anymore.
My dad is like really good at planning really big events. Everyone just trusts him to deal with or organize that stuff, like our old Christmas parties and then the fall feast and that stuff. He's super good with dealing with really large crowds of people.
This is really fun because I know that I'm good at planning events and things. I really like doing it, but I don't know like other people really notice that or really care about that much, so it's cool to see that they actually notice that.
Another one of my favorite stories was just last year. My dad planned this night with all of our friends where we were gonna go ice skating and get hot chocolate and do like sort of winter activities for a Christmas present for all of us. And we all got into the Sprinter, and my dad was like, well, there's not enough room, so everybody get out. And I was really confused. And then across our street there was a limo, and we got to play our music, and there was so much room, and there were drinks.
That was a really fun night. That was a really expensive night, so I'm really glad that they remembered that and it meant something to them. But that was a lot of fun to plan. And I felt like when I planned that night, I was like, oh, this is gonna be good. I was excited about that.
There's been a lot of stuff that I've seen him go through just in these last 2 years, but I've heard about his whole life. There's been good parts, but then there's been a lot of hard parts.
See, that's my daughter. I love that this video, it's not all just rosy and positive. It's like real, and it has this kind of like, you know, I don't know. It doesn't just all feel good, because I think that's more realistic to how my life actually is. And I'm glad she talked about that.
Do you think Dada is really nice?
Well, sometimes he flipped me because I don't like him because I don't want to do some hours.
Why does he flip you?
Because I did into things that I'm not supposed to get into things.
I thought about editing this out. Every time we put something like this in that's controversial, and I know people in the comments, actually I thought I knew, but people didn't comment on this, about how you shouldn't hurt kids or flick babies or spank or this or that. But it's so real and it's so important, and it shows that kids, you can cause pain or do things that they don't like, but then on the other side, you can have these amazing moments. Like parenting and family, it's just this mix of all those things. And it's just real. But it's tempting not to want to skip that part of the story and just edit that out. But it was also so cute seeing Rainier talk that way.
Me and my dad have done a lot of traveling together, and it's one of my favorite things in the whole world is traveling with him. He always like knows what to do, and like everything always just works out, even though like it's supposed to be like a sporadic and spontaneous type of trip.
That's so much fun because it always works out for her because she's kind of like me and we appreciate the same things. So it's really fun to have like a traveling partner that is literally made out of your own DNA, but we can just have fun with, and that appreciates the types of things I appreciate. But once again, like a lot of these things we don't talk about in real life, so to get a video made where she actually took the time to say these things was a real cool moment for me to just see that.
And I chose to go to New York and DC. 2 days into our trip, he got a call from Yelp asking him to fly out the next day to help them create a video for them or something like that. They were gonna pay him a lot, and they were gonna pay for all the expenses, everything. And it was a good job. But he said, no, I'm with my daughter for the next 5 days. If you guys are still available after, when I get back, then I'll think about it.
Man, this is really wild because I've told this story, but I almost tell it as a lesson I learned about negotiation. I didn't know that she even remembered this or was impacted by this story at all until she shared this. She's like summarizing this. On her 13th birthday, I got this call from this big client offering to fly me out there on the spot. And it was actually a tough decision because I just remember thinking like, this could go either way and I could totally spin it where it's part of our adventure for Dove. But I guess it was just a reminder to me that kids like see everything, like, and the things that you're not even trying to teach them, those are sometimes the biggest teachers, I guess, because I didn't like do that for her to learn a lesson. I just did it because it felt right for me at the time.
And my dad is pretty funny. He likes making a lot of jokes. Some of them are a little bad, but most of them are really funny.
Come on, they're all funny. They just don't know.
Another favorite story of mine is actually from this last year when he and I attempted to do a 3-day through hike around Mount Rainier on the Wonderland Trail. It was 2 weeks after the Appalachian Trail, and we just started off planning to be done in about 3 or 4 days. We got to about mile 12.
So basically we quit this trail, and this is fun. Once again, I didn't know she was gonna say this, but it was a really fun moment to share together. And it was a failure in terms of like our accomplishment. Like we set out to hike around this mountain and then we quit 12 hours into it, or 1 day into it, and we turned around. And now it's kind of this epic story that she's mentioning on Father's Day. Who would have thought?
Another thing that I really like about my dad is he's super chill, and Whenever I'm hanging out with kids, they're like, oh, my parents are gonna kill me because I'm not back by this time. And then I come back and my dad like understands what it's like staying up super late and how fun it is, and he understands like the motivation that I have.
Man, I would not consider myself super chill, but when he phrases it that way, I guess our kids are like comparing us to other parents. That's kind of scary when you think about it. Huh.
What are some of your favorite things about Dada?
He's really kind, and because my bike, the tire was busted, and I was like, it had a hole in it, and then he went to go fix it.
When we filmed Filia, we had to like tell her this story because every time we film her, we're like, what do you like about so-and-so? And she's like, I don't know. So we were like, well, do you remember last week how I fixed your bike tire? Did you like that? And she was like, oh yeah, I like that. So then she told that story, but that's the backstory.
What I like about my dad is that he's efficient and smart in almost everything he does. And whenever he thinks there's an opportunity for us that we can benefit and grow from, he lets us know and helps us with that. As an example, he wanted someone to make breakfast for him 4 days a week. And he asked me if I wanted to do that for money.
Man, so she tells a story about how she's making breakfast and how she's really appreciated that and how it's made her a better kid, basically. And I thought that she just really didn't like that, or she kind of saw it as a pain, because we have kind of a joking relationship about it. So it was fun to hear her mention it, that she has seen it as valuable and she does appreciate it.
Happy Father's Day, Ben.
Happy Father's Day, Dada.
Happy Father's Day, Dada.
Happy Father's Day, Dada.
Happy Father's Day, Dada. I love you, Dada. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day, Dada.
Wow, that was such a cool video for me to watch, and my kids' words are really powerful. I found this year one thing that was unique was we've done this family encouragement thing in the past where we say positive things about other people in the family on holidays and birthdays. But the thing that stood out to me the most this year, more than any other year, was the stories they told. They were really powerful because they were stories I've forgotten, stories that I didn't think were like that big of a deal, stories that I didn't think were that big of a deal to them, or like certainly I didn't do to like teach them anything. So it was really valuable for me to hear this, or for them to take the time to share this. Well, hope that was fun for you. If you want to see more reaction videos, we haven't done reactions in a long time because they're kind of a pain. But I thought, you know, when I was like watching this and I was like actually feeling emotional, and I was like, oh, if this can break my heart, maybe it can break other people's hearts too. Anyways, we'll see you guys next time.